Have you ever thought about what makes Mumbai, India so unique? We explore the lively streets and wide range of smells that make up this busy city in this video. Japan. Japan is a great place to visit for many people, especially those who like anime and new technology. However, it is important to know that Japan has the world's largest fish market. Because of this, you might want to think again about this country's red flag if you can't stand the smell of fish. Egypt. Egypt is a must-see place because of its interesting old sites like the pyramids and the Sphinx, but it's important to know that some parts of Egypt, like many other busy places, have problems with pollution, throwing away trash, and bad smells. Brazil. If you can't stand strong smells, you might want to stay away from some parts of Brazil where the smell from waste pipes that are connected can be unpleasant. Unfortunately, the smell of some lakes and rivers is still not very pleasant, even though experts have worked hard over the years to fix the problem. Myanmar. When betel nuts are eaten, they can make Myanmar smell very different and strong, which some tourists find very unpleasant. People often say that the smell is awful, which can make people who aren't used to it feel uncomfortable. Ecuador. Some people might not like the way Colombia smelled in the middle of the 20th century. Its big cities can sometimes have a unique smell because of the way the winds and rain interact, which some people might not like. The fact that the country is in the equatorial belt and is surrounded by both the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean has a big effect on its temperature and weather patterns. Sometimes, these exchanges could cause strong smells that last a long time, which some people might not like. People often say that the smell of Colombia's cities is a mix of damp plants and industrial materials. Iceland. People in Iceland are proud of their water source and get angry when tourists say it smells bad. Iceland's hot water comes from underground sources, so it sometimes smells like sulfur. Geothermal power plants make warm water that can be used for bathing but not drinking. This means that Icelanders can get both hot and cold water from two places. Iceland's volcanic water is known all over the world, but for some people, the smell can be a surprise. Croatia. Although the bright colors of Croatia's yellow ginkgo trees may fool you at first glance, they can give off an unpleasant smell that is often compared to the smell of vomit. There are a lot of these trees in many parts of the country, which may make the air less nice for some people. France. A study by the Daily Star found that 43% of French men and women do not take a daily shower. A quarter of French people say they take a shower every 48 hours, 11% say they do it every 3 days, and 8% say they do it every 4 days. A lot of the streets and places have a bad smell near gardens or light stations as well. Spain. Sometimes industrial fumes can get into the air in Spain, which could be annoying if you can't stand those smells. During your stay, you may have to deal with a number of unpleasant smells, as the city's plants from the industrial era still give off a variety of unpleasant perfumes. As Spain continues to change and adopt environmentally friendly methods, the reminders of its industrial past show how closely people and the environment are connected. There are many different smells in the air in Spain, which shows how complicated the country's past is and how it is still working to create a balanced and peaceful future. Portugal. Portugal is known for having a lot of rich, fragrant port wine caves. The country's well-known towns are known for these beautiful caves, which have a strong atmosphere. If you don't like places with strong and focused atmospheres, you might want to stay away from this one. Turkey. Not many people in Turkey use deodorant. Not all of them, but most of them. Someone who has been to Istanbul said that the streets are full of trash. There were so many cars on the small streets that people had to walk on the narrow sidewalks, and smoke was all over the place. Every shop has plastics that can only be used once. Everyone smokes and then leaves their used cigarettes on the sidewalk. There's a lot of trash in the streets, and garbage pickup doesn't happen very often. It all flows into the Bosphorus, where people still fish and eat them. There is a thick yellow cloud of smog over everything you can see outside. The test also doesn't measure how clean the air is in Istanbul. Africa. The bad smell in Morocco is usually caused by raw sewage, which could be from clogged drains or water that doesn't move. Some people find the smell very upsetting, and it always makes their stomachs turn. Blocked drains can cause garbage and organic matter to build up, which can cause bad smells to come out, especially in cities with lots of people. Temperatures that are high and humidity levels that are common in Morocco can make things worse. The Danish. People in Denmark have a strict attitude about smells, and they are often rude about both strong and weak smells. If you're sensitive to smells, you should keep this cultural aspect in mind when you visit the country, and you might want to avoid it if you're afraid of strong smells. This could really bring in bad attention. Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of people visit Trinidad every year to see the world's largest natural asphalt lake, which isn't the most appealing vacation spot in the Caribbean. But it's important to note that this attraction gives off a bad smell that you should be aware of and can avoid if you can't stand strong smells like these. Vietnam. It's not a surprise that places like Vietnam smell like diesel fumes because transportation is a big source of air pollution. There are also smells of garbage and sewage from time to time. The smell is also caused by the food, which is why Vietnam can sometimes smell like fish sauce. St. Lucia. One of the 10 smelliest places in the world is St. Lucia. In St. Lucia, not all smells have to do with eggs or fish. The island has become a center for chocolate tourism, a type of travel that is all about traveling and enjoying chocolate. As the cacao beans are being turned into chocolate, the farms on the island give off a unique and pleasant smell. A lot of people like this smell, but some people might find it too strong. If you can't stand the strong smell of cocoa, you might want to think about this. The UK. With so many breweries and distilleries in Edinburgh, Scotland, there was a big problem with smells. In 2009, the city ordered that an odor control tower be built at the North British distillery to mask the strong smell of malt and yeast. Even though these steps have helped, you can still smell the city when the wind blows just right. The Thai. Thai people deal with clogged lines, diesel, jet fuel, joss sticks, incense, and a lot of fresh and dried spices. At the market, you can buy fish that is either drying out, being fried, or just sitting there. When you stay in Thailand, the smells will be very different depending on where you stay. If you stay in an air-conditioned hotel in a nicer part of the city, the smells will be very different. Most of the time, this is true for Thai food and food items. Thai food stands in the streets fry things like fish heads, chicken feet, and fresh durian. The Indonesia. If the food is spicy, the environment is likely to smell spicy too. Indonesia is one of these places because its people like spicy food. There is also a strong smell of tobacco in Indonesia because so many people there smoke. The New Zealand. There's a strange smell that can sometimes overpower the beauty of this geyser-filled country. Rotorua, New Zealand is often called the Sulphur City because of the strong acidic smell that comes from its geothermal activity. If the smell of sulfur bothers you, you might want to stay away from Rotorua. South Africa. South Africa sometimes has a bad smell, and places like Seal Island and the Bird Island Nature Reserve are part of the problem. In some places, the smells that aren't very appealing might come from animal waste and natural substances. Kenya. People say that Kibera, Kenya, has one of the biggest slums in the world. People in this highly populated area had to use plastic bags as makeshift trash cans because there wasn't a sewer system that worked. This has caused a clear hygiene problem, which is why there are now things called flying toilets. People fill these bags up and then dump them on nearby wastelands, making a strange and difficult health situation. This behavior brings up the hygiene problems that people in many parts of the world live in informal groups. The people who live there have to use plastic bags to hold their trash because there isn't a good sewer system. Once these bags are full, they are thrown away on nearby wastelands, which makes for a unique and difficult cleaning situation. This shows the problems with sewage that people live in places that aren't official cities in different parts of the world. Hit subscribe now to stay tuned for more exciting videos exploring the world's most captivating cities and cultures.